Hello and welcome to our exciting new episode of Talking About Stoicism. I thought what we would talk about today was actually something I saw online and I thought it was fascinating. So give me a second and we'll see where this is going. But I saw this short video clip, was a recent video of Keanu Reeves, and Keanu Reeves was somewhere, looked like it was a mall or something, and got upset with people. People clearly wanted an autograph, and he got angry and he ended up signing something, whatever. Now, the reason I found this fascinating was from a couple of viewpoints, and I think Stoicism has a nice tie in here. But from what I understand, Keanu Reeves is actually a very nice person. He seems to be a very caring person who's patient with people who want signatures or selfies or whatever. And here he was clearly angry. And what I find fascinating about that is that I think we can learn something from this. And I think if you approach this from a Stoic viewpoint, I think the first thing that I would take away from a situation like that is, first of all, nobody is perfect. Everybody can have an off day, or can have something happen to them, or can have something just having happened that affects how you act in that moment. And even if you are, this kind of goes into the Stoic principle of progress, even if you feel that you are making progress and you are maybe less upset than you used to be, or that you feel that you get upset less easily than you used to, you can still have moments where that doesn't work well. You can still have moments where you feel like you do lose your temper, or you feel that you do actually get upset or annoyed or frustrated. And I think it is really important to keep reminding ourselves of how human that is. It's a very, very human response to feel upset, to feel annoyed, to feel frustrated. And even if you try to go down the path of Stoicism, even if you try to do the right thing, you try to work on not getting upset, there will be moments that will fail. There will be moments that something takes you aback and you may snap, or you may get frustrated, angry, upset, etc. And the Stoics were clear about that, right? The Stoics, I think all of them, Marcus Aurelius, who was very harsh on himself, also Epictetus, write about you, and I'm really paraphrasing here, but you make effort, and through making consistent effort you will make progress, but you should not under any circumstances expect to be perfect, because whatever happens, whatever will happen, you will fail. There will be moments that you fail, and that is just the way it is. That's part of being a human being. You can't be perfect unless, I suppose Stoics would say, unless you are a sage, and that's what Stoics aspire to be. And then you will kind of not really be upset. But even that is a difficult point, because we do have a fragment from one of Epictetus's discourses. There were 8 books of discourses. We only have 4 left. 4 of them were lost. And I think the 5th book is quoted, so this would be cited in um, what is his name? Or as Gellius? Gellius is Attic Nights, I think. He quotes this story about a Stoic master who's there at sea on a boat, and then there is this famous Stoic on board. There is a storm, and the Stoic master actually looks kind of pale and scared, and afterwards someone goes up to him and says, "Hey, you're a Stoic. Weren't you supposed to not be scared? And you're a Stoic master." And he says, and again I'm paraphrasing, but he says, "Well, no. The difference is that I initially got scared, and then I was able to calm myself. It's impossible to not have that initial scared response." And I think that's a very powerful way of looking at things, and that really matches modern day psychology, right? You feel that flash of, in that case, fear. You take a cognitive step back, cognitive distancing, and then you say, is this worth being afraid of? Well, if you're in a rickety sailboat on the sea in a storm, there might actually be reason to be a little scared. And then a Stoic would bring it back to, well, within your control, outside your control, there's nothing you can do if you're not the captain of the ship or something like that. So you're going to have to wait it out. There isn't anything else you can do at that point except maybe jump overboard, which may lead to even worse consequences. So there is that. I thought that was interesting, right? So there is that. Even a Stoic master might still have some issues, and I think that is really comforting for us to remember. You still may suffer, you still may be frustrated, you may be angry, but hopefully less so, and hopefully you're able to get yourself out of that faster than you were able to before you went down the whole path of Stoicism. So I think that to me was the first lesson in that video I found more or less by accident online. I just stumbled across it. No one is perfect. And that means that even people who have this reputation of being kind or nice may occasionally screw up. This is just the way life works. And I think a second thing that I've mentioned before, but that I find very helpful when I get frustrated with people in a situation like that, for example, or even observing a situation like that, is that I then ask myself, but what do you think that person has gone through? We don't know what, in this case, a celebrity, an actor, we don't know what he has gone through. Maybe he's been harassed all day, maybe he's been followed around by these people all day. I kind of got this feeling that the people asking for an autograph were not actually fans. I got the feeling these were people who might want to sell that autograph, and I don't know why I felt that way. It was just a feeling I had. Surely that must be very frustrating. Surely it must be very frustrating when you are in the public eye like that and you can't go to a mall without being followed around or like that kind of stuff. Try to put yourself in that position. And that I think is an important second Stoic lesson. Try to put yourself in the position of the other person. Marcus Aurelius emphasizes this continuously writes things like, okay, so if you're frustrated with a person, it's really kind of your problem because you're the one getting frustrated, but maybe you can try to think about what that person is going through. Maybe you can try to put yourself in their shoes, and then you can try to educate them, and you can try to make them see things differently. You can maybe make them behave in a way that is more in accordance with how you think they should be behaving. Remember, this is the emperor writing this, right? So the highest governing body of the state at that point in time. And I think that's a good way of looking at things, not to necessarily convert other people to your viewpoint, but to at least consider where they're coming from. And this comes back once again to kind of Socrates with people don't willingly do evil, people do what they think is best for them at that point in time. And unfortunately, what is best for them at that point in time may not be best for you at that point in time. Now, I think we can come up with some historical examples of people who seem to have done things that really were very evil. But that's not necessarily what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about dictators or that kind of. I'm talking about everyday things, right? Let's say, just for the sake of argument, that these were autograph sellers sell autographs on eBay or something. They're harassing someone. They don't do that because they wake up in the morning going, I'm just going to screw over someone. I'm really going to anger this person. They do that because they think at that point in time that's best, because that's maybe how they make their money or some of their money. That doesn't justify what they're doing, but it can give you slightly more understanding of where they're coming from. Doesn't mean you have to like what they're doing, doesn't mean you have to agree with what they're doing, but at least there is a little bit more perspective on what they are doing. And likewise, take someone like an actor who is now on video having done this. We do not know what happened in his life that day. We do not know. This is wild speculation, right? But maybe he was turned down for a role. Maybe whatever. You can come up with all sorts of things. It can be big things. It can be smaller things. Maybe he just didn't have his day. Maybe he got stuck in his head a little bit and got upset over something. Who knows? But by putting things in perspective like that, if I don't actually know what's going on in his life, I think it becomes easier often to then say, yeah, okay, so maybe that was not the greatest reaction, but I don't know why he had that reaction. Maybe he was fully entitled to have that reaction. Maybe these people had been following him around, harassing him for an hour, and finally he snapped, as anyone would under those circumstances, I think. And that was the turning point, right? So, in my mind, these are two important lessons to be gleaned from a 10-second video. Nobody is perfect, and even when you make progress, progress is great, but you will slip up once in a while. And secondly, try to think of the other person's viewpoint. And sometimes they can give you more understanding, more patience, more of these things. Anyway, that was it. Let me know what you think, how you would assess a situation like this, and that's all there's to it. I hope this was useful. Glad to see you again next week. More talk about Stoicism. Bye.